back to A Stupid Cupid. My name's Nicola Rocco.
Hi, I'm Jax. It's great to have you back.
Episode 5.
And we are going to be talking about first dates. I follow a rule because you're meeting somebody that you don't know. I like to date local to me. I like to go somewhere that I know, somewhere public.
I was just thinking, do you ever wonder, if bar staff or people in a restaurant, if they see you with different men?
I have 2 favourite pubs to go to for first dates, and I'm absolutely convinced that the bar staff in there must think, OMG, what is this woman on?
I once went into a restaurant with, it was an ex-boyfriend I've reconnected with, and the girl behind the bar said, oh, is this the same one from last week? Or something like that. And I was looking at him like, sorry, what? Should be careful about what they say.
Yeah. Video dates. So I know you've mentioned before that you're a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of a video call.
Just hate anyone FaceTiming me. I think sometimes I've actually been in the bath on the toilet and I nearly accepted it because I didn't know. You just can't help focusing on your own face. I find it so awkward. But some people I know, they just FaceTime all the time and they talk like that. I think I'm just not used to it.
If you knew that you had a set time, so 7 o'clock at night, that's when you're going to have the FaceTime. So you've had time to put a brush through your hair and all that.
Yeah. If you're prepared, if they just randomly FaceTimed you, oh no. I think, oh my God, why are they phoning me?
I prefer the video call when it comes down to dating for a couple of different reasons. One, I get to see that they are who they say they are.
Yeah.
And that they look vaguely like their photograph. You also get to hear their voice, but also see their body language. That to me is quite informative.
Energy doesn't lie, does it? I suppose you can feel.
You get a vibe from somebody. But I had one guy who was a really nice guy, but his photographs were at least 5 stone out of date.
Oh, okay.
But then he proceeded to tell me all about his varying health issues, including diabetes. Wasn't exactly appealing. And then I had the opposite end of the spectrum, Mr. Lit. He was one of these sexy type. That's all he could think of. And honestly, he practically was licking the screen.
Oh.
It was not a good look. Tongue hanging out.
It is a turn off when especially guys over the age of 30. It becomes a bit sad when they're like 40 and all they can talk about. Yeah. There was one guy, we'd gone out a couple of times, and then every time he spoke to me, he said, oh, can I send him a video? But he used to send me really pervy messages, and I was at college in the day. I'd have this like, hi. I think, oh my God, like a serial killer. I think just go on Babe Station. I'm busy.
If that's all anybody says over and over again, it's like, I'm not your blow up doll, darling.
I think they just think that's how they're getting closer.
Yeah.
Women are more mentally stimulated than men realise. So
subtle approaches will get a man so much further than just all of this really crass, obvious.
That is the word,
jump into your knickers stuff. That's really not that much of a compliment, because I'm thinking, if you're like that at this really early stage with me, you're probably like that with everybody. So you're diseased and you need the clinic. I've got an amazing first date story to share with you. I think it may be the shortest date in living history.
What happened?
It was on one of the posher sites. He was allegedly an accountant. I guess my only concern was, is he going to be a little bit dull?
Bit boring.
Chatted online for maybe 2.5 weeks before we'd set up the date. But nothing really had quite prepared me. I had to work late that night, chuck on some makeup, put a brush through the hair, and then he arrived.
Right.
One, he didn't really look like his photograph. It was quite clear that he had some mental health issues. And he sat down very briefly and then he hopped up almost instantaneously and said, I'm going to go to the bar. And I thought, God, I'm going to need a drink for this one. So I said, would you mind grabbing me a G&T? And he sort of nodded and then disappeared off to the bar. Well, I was sat there. After about 4 or 5 minutes, I received a text saying, I couldn't afford to buy you a drink, so I'm on the bus home.
No. Oh my.
I was, wow.
Mortified.
So I thought, you came out for a first date, unable to buy your date even one drink.
That is so
Even if we were doing rounds, that's kind of not really going to work, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. So I replied, well, that's just a little bit rubbish.
And what did he say?
Well, he said, no, that's not rubbish. You obviously didn't like me. And I said, well, you didn't really give me much chance to say whether I liked you or not. He said, also, I thought it was really rude that you you'd ask for a drink. And I said, well, actually, that's fairly standard.
What?
So you're heading off to the bar.
I think it was more awkward that he didn't offer you one. I feel sorry for his future date.
I just feel sorry for him. Well, I said, you really should have told me that you have a mental health condition. He replied, oh, did I tell you? And I was like, well, no, that's the point.
It's not like you ordered a bottle of champagne.
No, I was expecting a professional, but I was not expecting somebody
Maybe he just lied completely about everything.
Possibly, but I was thinking, I can't afford to buy a round of drinks. What on earth are you doing on one of the most expensive dating sites?
This is crazy. They need to do more vetting people on these sites. I'm not sure how.
It just tickled me that he was so clueless. Did actually say, I couldn't tell you I had mental health issues because you might not have wanted to go on a date with me. Well, yes.
The problem is, it's just such a waste of time. I was sat next to a girl once with a bottle of Prosecco or champagne, and I think it was her boyfriend. Maybe they'd had a row and he'd gone, and she was just sat there and she just looked at me and she said, do you want a glass? And I was like, do you know what? I'll join you because I just feel so bad for her right now.
And you've got to share.
And I just, like that. She seemed happy after she could chat to someone.
I had a date. So he was a lot shorter than me. He was only 5'6", and he was bald, but I got roped into going on this date. I call him Mr. Short and Angry. Honestly, it was the go-to of what not to say on dates. I'm pescatarian, vegetarian, whatever. For me, I cook meat for other people. It's never been an issue. I'm not militant in any way, shape, or form. And he started talking about cooking steaks on the barbecue, and obviously my vegetarianism cropped up. He said, well, I didn't read that on your profile.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, but I'm more than happy cooking meat for other people. That's not why I'm personally vegetarian. Then this was the absolute killer. He said, in the summer months, I love to have a barbecue and cook steaks for my friends. They're all Philistines because they only like their steaks well done, but they'll get it properly from me, medium rare. You are dictating to your friends how they want to eat their food.
Yeah.
How arrogant and up your own bottom you are. Quite disturbing. And also the other thing, that any mention of alcohol, he would, oh, no, I don't talk about that. And he wasn't drinking.
Wow.
So I think he obviously had some sort of short, angry, alcoholic past.
This guy told me not to get carried away with the chemicals. That's how he spoke to me.
Carried away with the chemicals?
Don't get carried away with the chemicals.
Have you been on exotic stuff that you haven't told me about?
No. Do you think that's kind of like arrogant of him? Like he is the chemical?
Oh. What? As in he was so attractive that he was practically...
He actually said, don't get carried away with the chemicals. This is just a bit of fun. And I'm like, who said I was chemically high on you anyway? What are you, acid? I don't know.
Wow.
Mechanical way of talking. I am the drug.
Ludicrous.
Yes. Honestly, the way men talk about themselves is so narcissistic these days. It's unbelievable.
Well, I've begun to learn this through my dating experience. I genuinely would not have believed that we have deteriorated to this point where men feel just because they're behind a screen that they are allowed in any way, shape or form to express these deeply flawed and misogynistic.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.